Yo, lads, I just wanted to apologize up front before the video starts. When I was recording, I forgot to basically start the software for my microphone, so the audio might be a bit more scuffed than usual. Apologies for that. But with that being said, on with the video. Thanks for watching if you do anyway. Thank you. Alright, how's it going, everyone? Today we're going to be talking more about One Piece chapter 1050. We're going to be talking about what if the poneglyphs were destroyed. Now hear me out. I talked about this with Cal Sweeney for a little bit in a previous video, probably up yesterday, the day before. I don't know when I'm uploading this one, but I just wanted to spitball this for a bit because, you know, it's a really cool idea and it could set up more reasoning for the future events to happen, right? Let's start, right? So we saw a big eruption, yeah? And we know, like, okay, you know, you can't destroy the poneglyphs, apparently. But surely magma is a way to destroy it, because it still is stone at the end of the day. It's just a very particular type of stone, or type of mineral. And 99% of things are destroyed by hot magma. And we know they were probably forged by hot stuff. So that would, in turn, most likely mean it can be destroyed. But even if it can't be destroyed, let's just run with the idea for a bit, because it's a fun thought experiment. Because we've all been talking about, well, me at least, you know, me here. I've been talking about the idea of Luffy going to Shanks or going to Elbath and having a Davy back fight, or doing something that involves him fighting Shanks in order to get that fan service, but it would have to have a satisfying reason, and I couldn't really think of one besides, oh, I need to test your metal just for the crack, right? So I was trying to think of one for so long, and so long, like it took me ages. But I finally figured it out. I think if the poneglyph was destroyed by that eruption, right? Then the only person any Straw Hat could probably think of to go to would either be Shanks or Rayleigh, because they've already made it to Laugh Tale. And yes, Luffy does not want that hand-me-down, so he probably wouldn't want to do it. But eventually it will happen, and let me explain here. So if you've been watching for a very long time, you know that I used to believe that when they'd go to the Holy Land, they'd run into Shanks there, and Shanks would be like, I want to test your metal, come to Elbath. And that's how we get them to go to Elbath after Marijois. But now I'm in two minds, right? Because in my opinion, now there's a tangible reason for Shanks to test him to be a great pirate. He's like, Luffy, because if he runs into Luffy, he'll be like, Luffy, the poneglyph, like if he knows the poneglyph was destroyed, he'd be like, Luffy, the poneglyph is destroyed. It's the only way you're getting to Wano, or getting to Laugh Tale without any help. Don't be a stubborn little child. And maybe he says something like, maybe you're not Pirate King material after all. If he's like, you know, if he's kind of being childish about it, he's like, I'm not going to accept any help from you, even though it's his only option, right? And then Shanks might say something like, yeah, as I said, maybe you're not Pirate King material after all, Luffy. Maybe I was wrong, right? And then that pisses Luffy off, right? Because Shanks was the main contributor to why he decided to chase his dreams, right? So now he's like, Luffy punches him in the fucking face, right? Or gives him like a St. Charles type of punch, right? Something we really look back on as like one of the coolest moments in the series, right? Like he turns away, he's like disappointed in Luffy, and Luffy just like conquer hockey punches him and sends him fucking flying. And then it starts a wee scuffle between him and Shanks, and that's how we get our little fight. It's a little petty fight, you know what I mean? It's all real petty. It's not really that important. It's very, very petty. So I think that idea would work well, because, you know, although it's just kind of a friendly scuffle, you know, they're not going to kill each other, but they're still going to fight because they're both annoyed at each other, or Shanks is more disappointed. They'd still have a decent fight, and maybe then the crew would get involved, or they would just find it funny, and then they would just watch, and you'd hear like the interactions between the two crews as they're laughing at how stupid their captains are. Like, that'd be pretty cool, wouldn't it? I don't know. And then when this fight is over, or if something happens on the island they're on and Luffy is able to defuse the situation or solve the problem, Shanks is like, well, there you go. You're worthy of being Pirate King. And without Luffy's consent, he divulges the information to Robin, or says it out loud immediately so Luffy can't shut him up. and then he might use it because he will finally figure out, due to Robin, people probably sitting him down and saying, look, the poneglyph was destroyed, it was our only option, and the person who's been gatekeeping Laugh Tale for so long, or at least keeping the balance of the world, has acknowledged you as worthy for this position. I don't know, to me that sounds like a great idea. Do you know what I mean? But on top of that, right, in my opinion, it would allow for detours like Marijois or the Holy Land, because you don't have that straight line anymore. You're not now guaranteed to get to Laugh Tale, and maybe we have like an arc, or maybe even half an arc where Luffy has not given up on being Pirate King, but it's like, I'm just gonna continue my adventure and see what happens. I'm not gonna force myself to give up because I lost a poneglyph. I'll just find it on my own, right? And then that's why when he finds out about the information of the Holy Land, he goes immediately. He has nothing tying him down to the rest of the world, right? He has no goal anymore, really. He has no way to get that goal. So whatever has happened on Marijois, if it involves Saba or Vivi in any way, he doesn't hesitate. He goes. He fucking legs it, right? And now we see he can be giant, so he's just going to come up in Gear 5th fashion and crash the place. Like, really, if you think about it, he's just going to literally carry the Sunny up in his gigantic form, or something really goofy. I initially thought before Gear 6 got announced that it was going to be something like Zunisha carries the Sunny on its back and then leaves it at the red line, but I don't think that anymore. I'm more of a, you know, Luffy's going to just gigantify, or he's going to just grab onto the top of the red line with his Gear 5th form and just slingshot the Sunny up. So I don't know. To me, the idea of the poneglyphs being destroyed makes for a more interesting situation and different ways to see how Luffy's character acts when his dream seems unachievable. Like, not like it's something he can physically change, like his strength, but something that he might have lost permanently. Do you know, we'll get to see how he reacts to that. I think it's going to be a fascinating situation. Do you know, because we do know technically he doesn't really give a shit about the One Piece. He just wants to care about the adventure, right? But surely the idea of, it's impossible now. It's not my own fault I can't do it. It's because of an external force. You know, maybe that will frustrate him to no end. You know, and he has to figure out something else, or he actually finds it, but in an unintentional way. Which some people might say that's really dumb. All the setup of the road poneglyphs, why would you do that? But just think about how interesting that would be. It'd be the curveball of a lifetime if he can't do the way we've been thinking about since Zoe, right? That's like, how many years has that been? Like 5 years? 5-6 years, right? God, fucking Dressrosa is nearly 10 years old. Oh dear God. But that's my point, right? It's like, it'd be such a curveball, and it's like, it'd be so good, right? It would be really good. Now, I'm sure it's not going to happen. I'm sure he's going to find the poneglyph, but I still think it would be fascinating. I don't know about you, all right. Let me try and put this into perspective, right? Okay, so if the poneglyph's gone and they're missing a piece of the history, but they're thrown into a war or a battle that would need the knowledge of the history and how to handle it. Like, you'd need knowledge of the ancient kingdom. And surely Robin knows a decent bit, so he wouldn't be completely out there. But they'd be put at a slight disadvantage because the government would know way more. Because if they found the One Piece, they would be at the advantage in the final war. But imagine if it's just like, in this war, whatever, he is incredibly disadvantaged in terms of knowledge. And he misuses his powers. He doesn't know how to use them properly, and it's causing him damage. So we see Luffy go through a lot of strain and pressure, and almost we might see him collapse under the pressure for a temporary time. But then he finds the will to get back up, right? We know he's a strong-willed, almost to a fault individual, right? So the idea of not being able to achieve his dream but still moving forward, I think, is a great arc for Luffy, because he says he would. He says he only cares with the adventure. That's why he wanted to shut Usopp up, and why he would punch Shanks if Shanks tried to divulge the information to him. But I still think it'd be interesting to see how his character reacts. when like he's outmatched in information, and he needs that information to use his powers properly. His body is failing him because he doesn't know how to use Gear 5th. It would be a fascinating idea to me personally. But what do you guys think? What do you guys think about the poneglyphs being destroyed? Am I a complete fucking nutcase? I know the answer to that already. You don't have to say. But with that being said, if you want more of these One Piece videos from me, make sure to like and subscribe. And I'll see you all next time. Goodbye!